Good morning, McAvinnue's School. Mr. Domina here, handling the McAvinue morning announcements. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. Thank you once again for joining me for the Wednesday edition, that middle of the week edition of McAvinnue's morning announcements. It's a short edition, so let's just get to it. Quick reminder, McAvinnue's Back to School Bash scheduled for September 25th. That is tomorrow on Thursday, 5 to 6:30 p.m. However, I'll let you know in a couple of slides where we talk about the weather, because the weather conditions for Thursday have changed over the last 2 or 3 days. So I know I mentioned that Thursday looks pretty good. Well, now Thursday looks not great at all. It actually is going to be rainy for the vast majority of the day. So there's a strong chance that we are going to postpone Back to School Bash on Thursday and move it to next week. So I'll make that decision by the end of today. I'll make sure to let everybody know so you don't show up here tomorrow or wonder tomorrow if we're having Back to School Bash, and then you can change your plans to come next week when we pick a day. So we're thinking either Monday or Wednesday. So I'm reaching out to teachers. So teachers, if you haven't completed that survey yet, I would say last call to make that happen so you can weigh in. We have about 40 people that have responded to the survey, which is a really good number. But I need a few more to finally make that decision. So stay tuned. Back to School Bash could be moving until, pardon me, next week. I'm so disappointed. I can't even speak. I really wanted to have it this particular week. But you know what? Sometimes good things are meant to wait, and so we'll see what happens. But more information to come on that. All right, so now we're ready to start like we always do, coming together as one unified collective school, showing our ultimate sign of respect, you know it, by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. So let's stand up. Turn your voice off, put your right hand over your heart, make sure to face the flag that's in your classroom or learning space, and we will begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nice job, everyone, showing your ultimate sign of respect, just like Leo the Lion did right below me. And really cool, so most of you know, I live in Billerica, which is the next town over from Lowell, and I'm on the Billerica School Committee, and I had the pleasure of leading the meeting last night with the Pledge of Allegiance, so it was kind of cool. I have that memorized because we do it all the time here, but we had to show our ultimate sign of respect when we started that meeting, and I had a chance to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, so you never know when you get called to duty. All right, so now we're moving on to the weather update like I mentioned before. Let's focus on today before we have the bad news for tomorrow. Today, not really that much better. It's going to be 66 degrees. If you've noticed, it's humid outside, so it feels a little bit warmer than the actual temperature. It's going to be cloudy with some occasional rain showers. Right now, the ground's wet. It rained overnight, and there could be some spot showers, about 40% occurring throughout the day today. So if you go outside, just be very careful. That playground structure in the front is going to be wet, so just be careful, as well as the rooftop courtyard. So many students know when that rooftop courtyard surface gets wet, it gets very, very slippery and it forms some puddles. So we're not sliding, we're not laying down in the water, we're not actually playing with the water. So if you're able to get outside and the surface is wet, just make some safe decisions and you should be all set. However, that might not even happen today depending on the weather conditions during your recess. So let's get to the bad news tomorrow. That is Thursday, September 25th, 71 degrees. So that's a pretty good temperature, but take a look. Steady rain in the morning and showers continuing in the afternoon. Chance of rain, 90%, about a half of inch of rain, which is about that much if you put it in a cup and leave it out there all day, which is a decent amount of rain. So strong chance that we're going to end up postponing it and shifting it to next week, either on Monday or Wednesday, like I mentioned. So stay tuned. So that's your weather update. Please make some appropriate decisions and dress accordingly. All right. So as you know, we are practicing yoga poses. We call them mindfulness poses here at McAvinue. We did the ocean breath, which is a breathing technique last week, and now we're doing our mountain pose, which is a red pose, and it's actually how all of our yoga poses, except for our breathing technique poses, begin. It starts in the mountain and then it moves on to other movements that are there. So I mentioned on the Monday edition that we were going to add some additional movements in today. So let's get busy and let's make it happen. So the mountain pose, as you know, is super easy. Feet hip width apart, hands down by your side. Just like the picture, you are in the mountain pose. Now we're going to add some movement. So today, I want you to put your hands together in front of you and raise them over your head, just like the person's doing. Actually, it's over. I got to figure it out. It's over here. Hold on. There we go, over there with the green shirt on. So put your hands above your head and just bend ever so slightly to the side. All right, hold it, take a deep breath in and release it. Now, right back to the center, and let's go to the other side. Take a deep breath in and release it. All right, let's go back to the center. Put our arms back down in the mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and release it. All right, so we added some movements on there. And again, I could repeat that a few different times if I needed to get my body and mind working together as one, if I didn't feel quite ready. So the goal of the mountain pose is to really find that center. And we talked about it last week. The center is the perfect amount of positive energy and the perfect amount of positive focus. And when you do that, you're able to make better decisions. And this is what we call our anchor pose, or how a lot of our yoga poses are going to start in the mountain. So nice job, everyone. And nice job getting busy, adding a few extra movements in there today. It definitely helped me, and I feel like I'm ready to have a positive day, and I hope you are as well. It's birthday time at McAvinue, and on the Wednesday edition, we simply cover the Wednesday birthdays and Thursday birthdays, so let's get to it. On Wednesday, September 24th, that's today, it's the one and only Benjamin's birthday in room 102. Happy birthday. And tomorrow is Thursday, September 25th. We have two birthdays, one student birthday and one faculty birthday. It's Safwana's birthday in room 203. That's tomorrow. Happy birthday. And the one and only Miss Lori, our great lead cafeteria worker. She's the one that's usually right there where you do your little pin pad. It's her birthday tomorrow, so you can wish her an early happy birthday today, or you can save it for tomorrow. It's up to you. So that is it for our birthdays. So let's get our birthday celebration round of applause hands ready to go so we can launch these birthdays in full McAvinue style. If I can find my sound effect board. There we go. Get your hands ready. All right, all right. Stay tuned for the Friday edition. We'll simply wrap up Friday and Saturday birthdays to end our week. But happy birthday, everybody that's on this list. McAvinnue's joke of the day. This is a good one, like they all are. I know sometimes students smirk and they shake their head saying that was a lame one. I think they're all good, right? They get your brain thinking. You might get a little bit of a laugh, or you might like the graphic. It's not really always for everyone, but just about everyone enjoys them, including our faculty here at the school. So let's get to it. Today's joke is, why was the broom late for school? Very appropriate with Halloween coming up around the corner. Witches ride the broom around, so very appropriate. And as you know, Mr. Domina likes to do some cleaning. I'm always get the broom out or the mop or something like that. So it's very appropriately themed joke. So why was the broom late for school? Do you have your guess, prediction, or suggestion locked in your mind? All right. So why was the broom late for school? Because it overswept. Not overslept, but overswept. All right, so I wonder if I can find a graphic of a broom that overslept, right? And not overswept, right? Let me see. You know Mr. Domina finds the graphic. Oh, there you go. There's a broom right now taking some extra minutes with some sleep, and that broom is overswept. All right, so that's McAvinnue's joke of the day. Remember to share it with family and friends to get them to smirk, to get them to smile, or better yet, to get them to laugh. Can't think of a better way to start our day together than reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and getting silly with a funny joke. All right, that was a good one. Remember, share it with someone. You never know when that joke could turn around their day just with something silly or talking about the graphic. It's always a good time. And I know many students go home and they share the joke with their family every single day, or they watch this on Class Dojo or YouTube with their families as well. Stay tuned. Friday edition, brand new joke coming your way. All right, we do have a good news story to share out. This is a kind of a cool one. A lot of classrooms have been getting very, very busy and creative with bulletin boards at McAvinue. Take a look at that one right there. We have a caterpillar and our friends in room 211, and they're hungry for knowledge. And I didn't really zoom in on this one. I just kind of gave a picture, but I'm going to be posting these on Class Dojo and our social media, zoomed in on a couple of pictures. And that is actually for all of the ones that I'm going to show you right now. But I have to give a shout out. Very creative, and all the students' faces are on the caterpillar's body in room 211. Really, really cute. Cool. Take a look at this one. This one is outside of room 205 in Miss Pepper and Miss Ogden's kindergarten class. It says building our future in kindergarten. Really cute idea, and it's actually Lego bricks, and each person, each student, if you look on the bottom and on the sides, they actually created their version of a Lego character of something that they might be interested in doing when they get older. Really, really cool. The cool thing is one student did a Mr. Domina and I had a hat on and I had jeans on, and I'm not a real big jeans wearer at school, but I had jeans on, so you never know. I could be rocking those. But check out that bulletin board if you're in the neighborhood in the kindergarten hallway. It is really cool. This one's neat. So we had a lot of bulletin boards purchased, and I mean a lot. And Mrs. De La Luz, Mrs. T. Power, and Mrs. Dennehy have been very busy in filling these bulletin boards with all of these positive messages and reminders. Like there's one in the cafeteria about no roasting. This one's up on the 3rd floor in between the boys and girls bathroom. It's resiliency. Remember, we have bounce. I have my bounce right over here. I have to move it. See him right over there. I have my bounce in the binder, and the wheel choice gets there, and it really focuses on resiliency, right? And so resiliency is your ability to be able to bounce back when something happens that's unexpected to you, right? And so you don't just sit and mope around, you recover, you learn from it, and you move on, right? And so this is really cool. Check that out, because there's a sticky notes up there, and you can write on it a time when you're resilient. So don't write like, you know, a silly message on there. That's not the point of it. But you can write something like, hey, one time I was struggling in math. I wanted to give up, but I asked for extra help from the teacher, and I was able to overcome that and solve the next problem, right? That's an example of something that you could write on there. But go check out that bulletin board and a lot of the other bulletin boards that are focusing on our social emotional learning. Really, really cool. This one is on the 3rd floor, right outside of room 207, and students in Mrs. Figueretto's class. It's really, really cool. So they kind of picked like a characteristic of themselves, and they had to do a writing sample. So when I share this out on the larger stage on social media in Class Dojo, I have the pictures of the writing samples as well. You can kind of see them underneath each one of the pictures. It's really, really a cool idea. And the writing at this point of the school year, amazing. Really, really cool descriptive writing that was going on there. So I can't think of a better shout out. There's a lot of good things happening at McAvinue, and it's very important to display those on the bulletin board. So teachers, if you have an empty bulletin board that you hear, start filling it with student work and get that student work up there. Let's showcase all the good things that everybody's doing there. All right, so it's time to do our celebration. Congratulations, round of applause. Here we go. Sharing out all of those good news stories and those amazing bulletin boards. Stay tuned for the Friday edition. More good news stories coming your way. When you see that purple and teal screen that's blank, you know what time it is. It's time to talk about McAvinnue's core values. What's the first one, everyone? Nice and loud. All right, respect. And what's the second one? All right, you got that one, responsibility. And the last one's the easy one. That's right, it's safety. Nice job. So today, really, what I want you to really focus on is the core value of safety, the last core value that we just focused on. And I want you to be really safe overall in the school today. So I already talked about the wet conditions outside and how you have to be safe out there and make positive decisions, not going in the water, not sliding around. But also when you're moving through the building, coming in and out when the outdoor conditions are wet, these floors are super clean and they get super slippery. So if you're moving through the hallways or the stairways too fast, you're gonna slip and fall, all right? So what I need you to do is move around with a walking pace. That is not speed walking and that is not jogging. It is a walking pace throughout the building, even when you're going up and down the stairs. I'm going to be looking out for that today to make sure that students are doing that. That's with your classroom when you're moving through as a large group, but it's also individually when you're moving around the building as well. I'm going to be looking out for safe walking and safe movement in the building. Double thumbs up if you think you can do that. Ooh, I like that. And remember, when we put respect, responsibility, and safety all together, we will continue to make McAvinue the best school that we all know. That's it on this short edition. Fist bump sign out. Let's get on with our Wednesday. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So go get them today. Work hard today. Laugh today. Smile today. Remember that safety core value challenge. Moving through the building very carefully with that walking pace up and down the stairs and throughout the building. Enjoy your day today. It's going to be a little bit of a gloomy couple of days here. Probably some indoor recesses happening. So when that happens, make sure that you include others and you share the materials and clean them up appropriately. I know we don't want to make any extra work for our den duty people that are assigned in each classroom. So let's make sure that we are doing our part and taking care of the area. You'll catch up with me. Mr. Shanahan is out of the building. He's at his district leadership meeting today. But you'll catch up with Mr. Dominant and all the usual places, which is everywhere, so go get them, have some fun, and we'll see you soon. Take care.